1 in 5 Rockford residents struggle to put food on the table. Local leaders take their campaign against hunger on the road with a new partnership. This campaign links public transit and food pantries for bus passengers across the Rockford area. WIFR's Nathaniel Langley learns how a task force feeds awareness to the community.
I hadn't seen it on the bus until today. I wanted to cry.
Aaron Garner signed up to help Rockford's Food and Security Task Force on a whim.
I, by chance, said that I would do it because I didn't have anything else to really do at the time.
Before that, the Illinois Extension Coordinator taught lower-income families how to receive Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program benefits.
I think about those people when I see these buses, and I think about them riding to the pantries.
Garner's team put together the route guide. That vision now appears on Rockford Mass Transit District's 41 buses.
Right, 3, 2, 1, oh!
And connects riders to the nearest food pantries.
Nobody deserves to go hungry or wonder where their next meal is going to come from.
Hundreds who ride RMTD daily can now look up and ask themselves if they need food. Then a QR code offers help right away.
We believe that reliable transportation and access to food should go hand in hand.
For those who can't scan a QR code, RAC cards share pantry hours, locations, and closest bus stops.
Kind of reaching all people, even if they don't have technology, is just really important.
Tashara Grandy says a lack of transportation leaves some in Rockford going to pantries only once a month.
But now that they know what transportation can take them there, hopefully they're able to go more often.
It makes me happy knowing that there's a possibility that somebody might not be hungry because of the work that we put into this.
In Rockford, Nathaniel Langley, WIFR News.
The Need Food campaign will be on display at least until the winter. The Rockford Task Force says its next project is launching a mobile market or grocery store on wheels for the area food deserts.